Hello, hello. Photography at its best. Here tonight with me is my guest from LL Photography, Miss Latoya Leonard. Can you say hi? We are great. We are here tonight to be talking about some of the different things that have interested me in photography, such as how does Miss Toy get her poses, cell phone versus professional photography, as well as what is the best camera to use when taking professional pictures. So today, Toy and I will be discussing these different topics, and we hope that this will be very engaging for you. So, Toy, let's get started. So, tell me, what is the way that you get the best pose or poses from someone you're taking pictures with?
Well, I like to start by using prompts. I think that that's a good way to get started, to get a person comfortable and to understand what vision I have. So I might tell them, a couple to pretend you're whispering something into, your fiance's ear, just to get natural smiles, to get the conversation going, to loosen them up and to just, help them get the picture that I want. I want them close, I want them talking, so I might have them whispering. So I
Okay.
like to do those types of things, and that, usually helps with posing and just kind of getting to know people's personalities. So yeah, if I know their personality, then it's easy for me to direct them to pose to bring out the best in them because I
Okay.
don't want it to look artificial at all. So I just start off with personality and bring out the best character and the best poses based off of that.
Okay, so there was one particular picture that I seen and I loved it. It was a young lady and she was turning her head over her shoulder as if she was considered a runaway bride. How did you get that pose?
Well, I saw her walking, and in that moment, I feel like I had a vision. I just, she did look, kind of like a runaway bride. So when I
Okay.
saw her, I just thought, I just want her to turn around, and I just want to get her natural reaction. I wanted to get her in action. There were people. It was a beautiful day, and she had this gorgeous dress on, and just asked her to turn around. And as soon as she turned around, I snapped the picture and it was a beautiful moment. Her hair was moving in the photo, and I really feel like it gave um, just a really good candid moment. And she did that on her own because she was a very beautiful girl.
Oh, that's wonderful. So tell me, let's kind of transition from posing. We got that, you kind of give that feel,
Mhm.
based on their characteristics and let's move on. So there's been a lot of talk about cell phone versus professional photography. We're always constantly now on our phones taking pictures. We try to get the best updated phones. And of course, someone like me that's an iPhone user, I'm always upgrading my phone because of the camera.
Mhm.
But I do know at times there are differences between the two. So can you break down what the differences are?
So I would mainly say that the big difference for me is that a cell phone camera is for convenience. It's for if you want to capture the moment right now. And sure, you can take beautiful and clear pictures with a cell phone. There's no doubt about that. But with a professional camera, there are certain settings that I can create in my camera that I feel that can't be duplicated by a cell phone. I can also buy lenses that offer different perspectives that you can't really get on a cell phone. So I believe that when I know what settings that I can put in a camera to create a mood for a photo, I
Mhm.
believe that is what's priceless. And there's a lot of extensions and different things that make things possible with a professional camera that you may not be able to use with a cell phone camera, like off camera flash. These
Mhm.
things have triggers that make it possible for me to change the lighting in any situation that I wouldn't be able to really use with a cell phone.
Okay.
There's things that soften the light. There are things that just create totally create whatever image it is that you like to make. So while I do believe that cell phones are good for, instantly capturing a moment, I
Mhm.
just believe to capture beauty, it's best to use a professional camera with someone who knows how to do that. And I believe that, you know, it doesn't have to be where one thing replaces another. Cell phone is a multifunctional device. It is made to for you to talk, for you to be able to do so many different things. I don't believe that it is made to be primarily a camera.
Okay.
So, a lot of people talk about that, but I just don't think that people will be at weddings with cell phones and you just, trust that those pictures are going to be something that are going to blow somebody's mind when they see them. I mean, it's possible, but I don't think that it would happen.
You bring up a good point because my son just got married last weekend.
Mhm,
And although there was a professional photographer there,
mhm,
I did capture some pictures, with my cell phone. However, like I said, I have an iPhone and someone wanted pictures and videos that I had taken sent to an Android. And when I sent it to the Android, they were like, the pictures showed up blurry on their phone
mhm,
and not as clear as it was on my phone. So I think that's one of the issues too, transferring pictures from one phone or from an iPhone
mhm,
to an Android, the pictures aren't the same.
mhm,
They come out blurry or um, just even when the video was taken, you could barely hear.
mhm.
So I think that's another reason why people should stick with professional photography, especially if they want that special moment to last forever.
I do absolutely agree with that. There are certain file types that you use. If you want to edit the pictures, if you want complete control of it, if you want to do some things to edit the photo after, that are just more compatible with a professional camera. With a cell phone, you have to either back your images up to a cloud, or say you lose your phone or something, you've lost all of those images. You can back them up, but the file sizes aren't the same. So you're right. The technology has to be compatible, and
Yeah.
it has to be something that it maintains the integrity of the image. And a professional camera is made specifically for that. That it has certain mirrors and different things that are specifically to fine tune the image so that for the best clarity
Mhm.
and to help bring people's ideas. I think that only a professional camera can do. Agreed.
Well, speaking of cell phone versus uh, professional photography, let's move on into capturing the moment with the camera. So, can you tell us a little bit about the type of cameras that you prefer to use when you're on photo shoots or um, special events?
So, I use a Nikon camera. Most
Okay.
people have a favorite brand. It's usually either Nikon or Canon. You do have some people that do prefer Sony cameras. They've entered the chat. My Nikon camera, it was the first. Actually, I had a Canon first before I got into digital photography. But I
Hmm.
just fell in love with my Nikon, and I
Okay.
haven't straight away. So I have a D750. The
Okay.
D750 is it's a really good entry level camera. A lot of people use D750 for weddings. I heard a lot about this camera before I got it. So before then, I had um, what was not considered a professional camera. This one is considered professional because it's a full frame. The way you can tell with Nikon cameras is that there's three numbers behind the letter. That means it's a full frame. If there's four letters, that means it's a crop sensor. And that just matters in size of the image and the type of lenses that you can use. So I think that sure. So it's kind of heavy.
It is.
There are lenses that I believe is a little bit more important than the camera itself. The camera, as long as you have a professional full frame camera, you're going to get a pretty decent image quality. However, the lenses are this perspective. So the lens that's on there is considered a fixed aperture, and that just means that it doesn't zoom in and out.
Okay.
There's a certain perspective, and if I need to zoom or need to change perspective, I would actually have to move or have my model move. But it's a camera that's great for portraits, and it has great depth of field, and that just kind of refers to how far you are away from your background and how much blur your image will have in the background. Some people really love that blurry, out of focus background and very, sharp and clear foreground. That's something. that I believe is probably a little bit more important than the camera itself. I have a lot of cameras, and those cameras sometimes, if I want to do outdoor photography and I want something to get, you know, a large amount of space in the background, I might use something different. But I keep at least 4 or 5 lenses with me at all times so that I can tell the story that I need to tell with my image.
And what does something like this cost? I mean, what's the price range of something like this?
So most full frame cameras are going to start at about $1,500 to $2,000, and that would be body only. That would There are some that are kits, and you will get what they call a kit lens, which is
Mhm.
a very standard, you know, lens that will zoom. And but it's when you really want to get into like wedding photography or portraits, you want to start getting different lenses that um, don't come with the camera. So if you want to buy a lens can cost as much as a camera also.
Oh, wow.
Lenses are usually they start at a couple of hundred. You might be able to get a maybe $200 lens,
Mhm.
but lenses can be $10,000.
Oh,
Um, they get depends on if you're doing macro photography, nature, wildlife. They get really really expensive, but they can create some very great images. The ones that you see in magazines are usually lenses that cost a lot of money. So
okay. Now,
yeah.
can you do videography with this as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that one does still and it also does video. You can add certain attachments to it,
Mhm.
like a microphone. There's triggers and different things, so that if I wanted to do, say, a documentary, I can change the settings. There's the back of it. Some people know digital cameras. Um, they usually have the screen in the back. When I'm taking pictures, I never use that screen, but when I use video, it automatically turns on, so I can see what I'm videoing.
Okay.
So I don't use video as often, but if I ever wanted to switch or needed to, I absolutely could.
Wow. Well, I do appreciate for the short time that you were able to answer some of the questions that I had because I did not know so much about cameras or different poses or, why people would prefer cell phone usage over professional photography. But again, I thank you for sharing this information with me. Thank you for taking the time to explain and give us more information. um, Toy will be with us
Thank you for
again.
having me.
You're so welcome. We'll be back. We'll be taking a Q&A, doing some questions and answers. If you have any questions for LL Photography, the owner, Toy Leonard, or for myself, Angela Harris, the PR specialist on this assignment, please join us again for our next segment. Thank you. Have a good night.